Landon Swank, the greatest magician in all of Alaska.
Yeah, that's not, I shouldn't say that. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm well. We met once before.
Yes.
When you were eliminated prematurely and brought back wisely.
Well, thank you.
And now here you are in the finale. Are you surprised to be here?
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised. My goal for America's Got Talent was to get some exposure, was to be able to perform in front of America, which has always been my dream. But I didn't expect to do it, 6 times. So it's a surprise. And it's very cool.
How has this experience changed your life? How would you say?
This experience has changed quite a few things. The exposure, definitely, it's got me some recognition that I've wanted. Some people have been in touch about some pretty cool opportunities, which is very exciting, but also being able to do some of the illusions that I've done have always been dreams of mine, like that box illusion last week.
Right.
Was something I dreamed up about a year and a half ago, and just, it's tough to be able to do because, it's hard to get your hands on explosives for one, but, just finding the right stage for it, it's hard to do, so.
You're not going to give away how you did the trick, but was it a ridiculously simple trick that we could figure out if we tried, and nobody can figure it out?
It wasn't as simple as a lot of people think, or as most magic really is, actually. And it was definitely, I'd say that I was shaken more before that trick than anything, because there was some serious danger involved. I mean, I really was in a box, and I was really looking around, and I could see the dead cord all around me, and I was definitely nervous.
So we keep hearing step it up, step it up, step it up, week after week. Can you step it up from there?
My strategy is going to be a little bit different. I don't want to give away too much, but magicians in the past have always tried to go bigger and bigger and bigger, and I truly believe at a certain point it gets cheesy, and that's not what I want to be perceived as. That's not how I think magic should be perceived. So I'm going to do actually my favorite effect that I've ever created, and we'll see how America likes it.
Fantastic. Now let's talk about Landon a little bit. What's it like growing up in Alaska? What's your life been like?
It's tough to say that it's different from anywhere else because I never knew anything else. But now that I've been around a little bit and seen some of the some of America, I'm very fortunate and very happy that I grew up where I did. The respect and just everything, the small town feel, being able to enjoy nature like I did, just walking outside, being able to hike in my backyard, basically. It's incredible. And
do we down here in the lower states, do we have a stereotype or a misconception about where you come from?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, the lower 48, everybody has their thoughts about Alaska. We're pitch black for half the year and light for the other half and stuff. But, it is different. Alaska is definitely the last frontier. Life up there is different than it is down here, but it's not, it's not a whole different world. It's still America.
As someone from Wasilla, were you scared to death of the possibility of Levi Johnson becoming your mayor?
Well, yeah, I recently heard that he was too busy to do that, so.
What could he possibly be too busy with?
I'm ice fishing. I never know.
How would you say your life has changed from this experience?
Yeah, the exposure, really just being given that opportunity to do what I love and to be able to put the hours into not only creating like I always have, but actually getting those creations in front of a camera and on a stage. So that's been the biggest change. I've always put in long hours, and but the hours that are being put in are different.
I know you have a wedding coming up in a couple of months, and we've met your wife, your fiance, I'm sorry. All these girls that keep seeing you on TV keep talking about how good looking you are, and they're swooning over you and writing stuff on the internet about you. How's she dealing with all that?
She's amazing. I mean, she knows that I love her more than anything, and that she's the only one for me. So, that makes obviously everything a lot easier. She gets attention all the time. Every time we walk into a hotel, somebody whistles, or a restaurant or something. So. It's interesting being on the other side of things, I guess, but we just have an amazing relationship. We respect each other to the nth degree, so it makes everything easy.
Will we see her again?
I don't think so, but you never know. She's behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff. She's helped me with choreography, and we'll definitely see her again soon. I'm just not sure of the show.
What plans have you made, or do you think you might make for that $1 million prize, should you win it?
You know, part of that money is going to go to the wedding, for sure. And then I got some illusions that I want to build. So they're definitely go back into the act. And she's a singer, so we're going to put some money into, you know, some recording stuff and get some of that knocked out as well if I would.
Could we see her on the show next year trying to compete in the musical category?
Very possibly. Yeah, she's got an amazing voice, so never know.
So $1 million wedding, I mean, that's almost Kardashian.
Yeah, it wouldn't be $1 million wedding, but, you know, some of the money.
Are you allowed to have any say in the wedding planning and all that? Or
she asks me every day, so we've been planning just about everything together. Which has been tough because how busy this has been, but you know, everything from flowers to colors to this and that, and you know, things that I think I'm colorblind, so I don't know why she wants my input, but you know, it's been fun.
Is it gonna be a big wedding?
No, it's gonna be fairly private. We'll be over in the islands, so it'll be tropical and just you know, family and close friends.
Are you gonna invite Piers Morgan and the judges?
I might. He's been pretty nice to me, so he might get an invite. Never know.
Absolutely. We hear a lot about relationships on this show, you know, contestants becoming great friends, unlike what you might expect. You might think that people will be, you know, breaking each other's kneecaps or whatever to get the competition out of the way. Talk about what goes on behind the scenes and sort of the family atmosphere of the show.
Sure. You know, the relationships that people build around set are pretty cool. And it's tough to look at this like a competition because unlike some of those shows where everybody is in the same category, we're all so different that you really can't even compare us. And I think that everybody just goes out there and really tries to put on the best show they can, as opposed to trying to be better than the guy next to them. So it makes it a lot easier to be friends behind the scenes. You know, like Smodgy brothers are some of my favorite guys, and they're the ones that got me kicked out the first time. So you know, and Landau is just, you know, so humble, so nice, so deserving of everything that he's received. It's very cool to see these success stories, and it also helps that everybody is very humble and just down to earth. And it's pretty cool. Do
you have any other talents that would qualify you to be on this program besides the obvious?
I try to do some other things. I'm not sure if anything would qualify me. I play the violin, I play the drums, but yeah, I don't think I could be on the show with them.
You're a musician.
I'm a home musician.
An aspiring musician. Like you play rock band on.
Exactly. No, I mean, I've been playing the violin since I was a little kid. And the drums since I was a teenager. So I'm okay, but never going to be in a band.
What else would your fans like to know about you?
What else would my fans like to know? Huge sports fan. Grew up playing soccer. I was always, you know, between trying to play professional soccer or Magic. That's where I was my whole life. You know, since I was a little kid, those were the two things I always loved. Huge Ohio State fan. Runs in the blood. My dad's side of the family is from over there. And other than that, just normal guy.
Did you go to college?
I did. I got a degree in business management from UNLV.
UNLV, okay, that's right, because you spent a lot of time in Vegas.
Yeah, I have actually lived there right now to pursue the Magic stuff. What's
the trick to beating the heat?
Stay inside.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not used to it. I hate the heat. It's no fun.
Is living in Vegas everything that it looks like it might be?
You know, I grew up in Alaska. I like the quiet. So our house is 45 minutes away from the Strip. There's a park next to it with a waterfall that I like to go sit at, and you know, I like the quiet. I drive to Mount Charleston as often as I can to go hiking and stuff. So it can be if you want it to be, but I like that.
Do you get a chance to take your show out on the road and go to other cities?
Not too. I've done fly-out corporate work, but the corporate stuff is very different from stage. You know, that's why I did the show, because I really wanted to become an established stage performer, as opposed to the corporate, you know, kind of.
Well, it's got to be tough to lug all of your materials around too, all of your props.
Yeah,
right?
The shows that the corporate stuff packs a lot smaller, so I can travel in a suitcase. But the big stage stuff, you know, it is definitely a bear to transport around. And when you're in that you know, transition stage, you're doing it yourself, and you're renting U-Hauls or putting it in the back of your truck, and it's a lot of work.
Because it's tough being a working magician, isn't it? I mean,
Yep, jobs are you know, it's feast or famine a lot of times. Jobs can be few and far between, especially when the economy is bad, and it can definitely be tough.
Are you always able to, you know, support yourself doing this, or have you had to become a blackjack dealer on the side?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I've never had to get a different job, but I've definitely never lived a lavish life. I've always been pretty quiet, lived within my means. There's been a month here and there where I've had to borrow a few bucks from my parents to keep the lights on, but haven't had to get another job yet, which is.
And they've got to be as proud as can be at this point. Your dad was just on camera the other night talking to us.
Yeah, I brought my dad down from from Alaska to do some of the welding for me for this newest illusion, so he helped me out with the construction of it.
Right.
And yeah, just having him on stage, I think he loved it. He won't admit it, but I know he liked being on TV.
Do like the behind the scenes people, when they see you putting your act together, do they kind of figure out how you're doing it?
Oh, yeah, I basically tell the behind the scenes people what's going on, so I
Yeah.
can make sure that if they see anything
That they
that doesn't look right, that they let somebody know. Just because some of the stuff, especially the last two acts, have been fairly dangerous. I've been nervous to go into them, that's for sure. Ahead of time, it seems like it's a good idea. Then I get down to the safety meetings on stage and stuff, and then the day
Right.
before, I start to worry.
And safety has been a real, with what happened on Tuesday night, it's become topical again.
Yeah.
To talk about.
Oh yeah.
How much time goes into sort of preparing to keep everything safe?
Well, there's a lot of time that goes into keeping things safe, especially for acts that are dangerous. Like there was a mandatory safety meeting for both of the last two effects that I did. There's 20, 30 guys there. Anybody that's going to be on or around stage gets prepped on all the dangers, everything that can go wrong, the right procedures in case something doesn't go according to plan. So,
In case you get blown up?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure what could have been done in that instance, but there was a safety meeting for it. So.
Do you have accidents? Do things ever go wrong?
Oh yeah, no question about it. The worst is probably for the water escape. It sounds weird getting cut up in a water escape, but I had cut myself, I don't know, probably 2 dozen times, bleeding all over the water and everything.
I love that illusion. It was a great illusion. The only negative feedback was that people had was that the curtain came up and it was like you couldn't see obviously what was happening behind the curtain, and so
Right.
hell, 10 people could have been back there to just unlock you and let you out.
Right.
Did you? Was there any thought about that on your
Yeah,
part?
I was trying to. It's tough because what I try to do is I try to make things organic and straightforward. But at the same time, I do love the classics, and I love how Houdini would present, his escapes. And in his era, he could go into a trunk, and it would take him on a stage 7 to 13 minutes to escape, and nobody would say anything. They would sit there and watch a box with nothing else happening for that time period. And people, we can't do that anymore with TV and internet. People just don't want to see entertainment like that. So it's got to be instant. A quick change is obviously important. So I was trying to find a good balance between the two, and I was pretty happy with it. I know that not everybody always is, but I think I was.
Well, the build up to the illusion was terrific, and that's what sold it.
Right.
Was the drama.
Right.
And I found myself like everybody else, like, oh no, what happens if he doesn't get out?
Right.
It was just the curtain thing that kind of.
Right.
You're always, because especially now that the show's had so many great magicians over the years.
Sure.
And we've seen so many great illusions. You're always looking in the corners.
Right.
He wants you to look over here. So what's he doing over here?
Exactly.
And it's the ones that you can't quite figure out that really get you. Why do you think a magician's never been able to win this?
Personally, I think it's because you go so big, and then you think that you have to go bigger,
Right.
and so you do something that is just not practical, and it doesn't play very well on TV, I believe. So that's been in the front of my mind when trying to prepare this next illusion.
Are you friends with, do you know the guys from last year, Murray and Grasso and some of those guys?
I don't know those guys personally. I know I knew Scott Alexander before the show. I know Seth. I knew him for years. So in both Michaels. I don't think one of them got aired, but yeah, I knew a lot of the guys from this season, and then previous seasons as well. Not last year, not season 5, but the seasons before that. I knew a lot of those guys. It's a pretty small community. Everybody's pretty supportive, and even the guys this year. I've called Scott and talked to him about some ideas I've had even. So everybody's very, very supportive. So it's been nice.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for spending a few minutes. And